Hello everyone, my name is Schaknat and I am the Managing Director of Schaknat Elektronen GmbH, and today we're going to optimize a Morelo Palace 85L. We thought we'd start the video a little differently today. Today we have a beautiful Morelo Palace here, built on an IVECO Daily chassis. It's the 3-liter Euro 6D version from the 2022 model year. We're going to optimize it using our Schaknat App. We'll show you how it works in detail with the app. IVECO is a little bit different from the others. Just so you can see for yourself, there's a reading function available and also instructions on how to read and clear the error memory. We'll explain that to you briefly, but also in a bit more detail. As you can see, we've driven the Morelo in with 4-wheel drive. We'll also be measuring it in 4-wheel drive mode. The 85L from Morelo is truly a beautiful and impressive vehicle, but it's actually one of the lighter chassis in this particular segment. It has 211 horsepower and 475 Newton meters of torque. It's a pure 4-cylinder engine, so there's definitely good potential for further improvement. But you can still see it, even though it's one of the smaller chassis, it's a heavy beast. And that's with just 211 horsepower. People always say that if you add a trailer to the back, they're already at their limit. We do a lot of optimization. We really do a lot with Morelo, Concord, Carthago, and motorhomes in general. And whether you want to believe it or not, people also pay close attention to fuel consumption there, just as they do elsewhere. And it's really important to people to actually save something there. And on average with these vehicles, we really always save about 1.5 to 2 liters. At least that's what my customers always tell me. The nice thing about this, they have the new ZF8 HP transmissions in them, so the same transmission you might know from BMW or Audi. It's a great transmission that, in combination with the engine and transmission optimization, as I said, really works perfectly. And especially with our app, which allows you to program it individually, it's really a great thing. I would also say that Andre, my colleague, will take you under the vehicle and show you underneath how to strap down the vehicle. We'll show you why we strap it down from below so you can see the pit from underneath. And yes, I'd say you guys carry on for now, and we'll see each other again at the monitor.
So now we're ready for a new measurement, for example here with the IVECO Daily Euro 6D chassis. I'll take you along for the unstrapping. We'll meet in the pit in just a moment. Now let's take a look at an IVECO Daily from underneath. Here, a huge diesel tank, gas tank. Also an extremely long drive shaft with several joints, which of course also saps a lot of energy. Here, for example, is a small eddy current brake, the engine brake, so you don't always have to rely on the regular brakes. When you're driving down a mountain pass or any kind of descent, especially with a trailer and a car loaded on the back, it really pushes from behind. Now let's take a look at the differential here. I don't know. Can you see that, Renee? Can you get that clearly? Can you film it? You can add it to the edit. I know. So let's take our trusty tool here. It's really simple. Just like with the Daily, you always have to make sure you don't accidentally cut any locks or ABS cables here. Later on, there will already be quite a bit of tension on the chain down below. We often get asked why such a rickety ladder? But it's just perfect for quickly changing positions. And if it ever breaks, we'll just get a new one. So, I'll take you over to the other side now.
Here you go.
Like a meerkat, here we have the spare tire. I'm peeking out of the hole here. It's just really important to do this thoroughly. And here, for example, you can see the differential lock. If I were to just throw the strap over and pull down with 20 tons from below, that wouldn't be very healthy. Here we have large shackles. They're right there, ready to use. It's a very simple technique. We've wrapped the short one around the axle here. This works just the same on big V8 trucks with something like 4,000 Newton meters. Because we just need to put weight on the rear axle and then pull it down nice and deep into the roller here. So with the next one, everything is within reach, so it goes quickly. Then here we have our hook. Now it simply goes into the 2 shackles here. Now the chain is adjusted to the right length. I usually always do it from here. Now we pull down this hydraulic cylinder here, and later on, instead of a chain, we'll basically have a rod that's so tight it stands rigid and pulls the axle down perfectly. Now it's also important to secure the chassis. Here, the Daily, the motorhome, so that it doesn't drive over the front and create a sixth hall door. We don't want that. And above all, the customer doesn't want it either. That's why we're now securing it at the back with a trailer hitch, so that it can work properly and transfer the pressure perfectly onto the roller. We'll see each other up there. So just around the trailer hitch here. For larger chassis, we do it on the main frame, but with the Daily, it's completely sufficient if you just pull it back like this. Then we'll go over to the other side. I don't want to scratch up the whole hull, so I'll handle everything myself. Apply a bit of pressure and do the other side as well. It's important, before we start the measurement, to quickly check again. Are all the wheels seated properly? But that's fine. So now we'll pull the vehicle onto the roller. Keep an ear out, because supposedly it's showing me something here now. It's showing 30 bar, but we don't actually have that yet. Now you can already hear the chain. Now we're getting pressure. You can also see it on the tire. Wash your hands and we're ready to go. For the initial measurement, it's important to pay attention to engine temperature and coolant. See how the vehicle reacts. Now we have the remote control. Let's open the gate so no stones fly against it from the tires. You don't need an exhaust extraction system for this one. With your Euro 6, you could probably breathe cleaner air at the exhaust than you would in the forest. At least that's how it's always promoted. Here you also always have to make sure the vehicle is tracking straight. If that's spot on, you can rely on it for now. And of course, shift through the gears first, see how it reacts, how it shifts, what it does. Drive it up to 6th gear, 90 kilometers per hour. 7th gear. 8th gear, everything's fine. We're getting through. 110. I'll shift into neutral now. Always test disengaging the clutch, because we also have to disengage during the measurement. Let's set everything up now. What we have here, fan on. And then you'll see me again during the measurement.
We've now completed the initial measurement. Now let's take another look at the graph on the monitor together. The car was very, very easy to measure. Even when shifting through the gears and even with the small tires, it's still measured perfectly. You can see it here now. Again, the RPM axis. This is now the original measurement, one for power and one for the torque curve. You can see it here from 1,400 to 3,600 revolutions. So you can see it now. On the tachometer, I would actually have 4,500, but they don't actually rev that high, so you see at 3,600. The torque is basically already gone by then. But you can see what's really cool about the stock setup is that from 1,600 to almost 3,000 RPM, it has almost its maximum torque. So it definitely drives well like this. You can see it here in the peak power. We should actually have 211 horsepower, but we have just under 197 horsepower and 475 Newton meters of torque. We have a factory tolerance, but you can definitely say that the car has its original power output. But that's exactly what I'm saying. If I have a heavy trailer hitched to the back, of course I'll notice whether I have 10 more horsepower and 20 more Newton meters. I'll definitely notice that in those situations too. That's just how it is. We're now going to program the vehicle with our app. Program it. He'll show you just briefly how the process works.
Optimize engine and transmission. Then we'll do the baseline measurement, and then we'll see each other again at the monitor, like this. Now we have the Schaknat app here. Let's open it up. If you have any questions, you can always scan this QR code with your phone's camera. Then you'll automatically get to our instructional videos, including the detailed tutorial video for an IVECO Daily Euro 60. Now we have our adapter here, which we're going to use now. As I said, it's a bit more complicated to get it in down there. Morning yoga chases away worries and cares. Let's plug the adapter in down there. And when it blinks blue and lights up green, we can start. The adapter is plugged in. Now we turn on the ignition. It's always important to avoid power consumers, such as the air conditioning, the radio, or the low beam headlights, so that we have as few power consumers on board as possible. Then we log into the Schaknat App 10, so for that we use this security number, the 10. Then we move on to the next step. Next, we select the brand here, IVECO. Go here to open settings, and then it appears right down here. OBD link. So connect, I mistyped for a moment. Alright, now we connect to the OBD link. Perfect, we are connected. To check, you can simply take your phone. Hold it underneath, and then you can see the lights like a mirror go faster and faster, and when the blue light is on, we're connected. Now we're in the Schaknat app, opening our brand here, IVECO. Now it automatically pulls all the information from this chassis out. Up here we have the chassis number, the model Euro 6 IVECO Daily, and the license plate, in this case XXX. So now we want to optimize it. For that, open the engine control unit. And now we have the option here. Custom Flash Eco Optimization. Custom, because here we have a few other functions besides just a performance increase or fuel consumption optimization stored for the customer, but we've also tailored it more specifically to his needs. Now we press Flash Eco Optimization. Yes, execute. As I said, now error messages will appear on the display. Don't let that bother you. It's because the control unit is updating. We're now optimizing our datasets here, or rather, we're making changes here now. 1 or 2 data blocks. And of course, that's extremely stressful for the control unit. And that's why it triggers these faults here. Now we'll wait for about 2 minutes, and then we'll move on to optimizing the transmission. So now we already have the green check mark here. A green check mark means the data transfer was completed successfully. Our software, so to speak, was now automatically stored via the app from our customer, or rather from our programmer, in our cloud. For the customer, it's like putting it in a drawer. You can think of it that way. And the app knows exactly who it belongs to. And it grabs this file from our cloud via satellite, over the internet to the phone, and then via Bluetooth, then to the dongle, and via CAN high and CAN low, the data communication lines of modern vehicles, that is, the CAN bus, into the engine control unit. We've now simply done that with the phone. So, important, transmission optimization. We're going to do that now as well. Let's go to the transmission here. Then we'll adjust the 8 HP as well. For that, select Transmission Optimization Eco. Here, we want smooth and quick shifting behavior. There are only 1 or 2 data blocks for this, so it goes pretty quickly. So it just accepted the data, as you could hear. Perfect. Now let's quickly read out the error memory again. For that, we go to DTCs here. Now we have 3 important control units here. Read out all error memories. That's always cool. On vacation, you can help yourself like this. Let's clear the error memory. It has several brake errors stored. Those 3 won't go away for now, since we're in the workshop. And now the vehicle needs to roll calmly for about 2 to 3 kilometers, so that all the assistance systems can recalibrate, because of course they notice that something isn't quite right. There's a fan up front here that never actually moves. The vehicle is driving way too fast, so it just needs a moment to adapt. But what's important is that we don't have any errors in the engine control module or the transmission control unit. That means we did everything right. Let's go back once. Here we have the overview. We can go back once more. Scan Mercedes, Volvo, and Renault again. That's basically it. Then there's also the option to quickly click on the gear icon up here. Here you can make 2 settings. Ignore iOS battery status means below 25% on the phone or iPad. We don't allow any programming in that case, because it could happen that it takes a bit longer due to 1 or 2 other pieces of data that still need to be transferred. And then the phone might crash. That would also mean the vehicle is stuck. So always keep in mind, when optimizing, don't turn off your phone, don't walk away with your phone, so the Bluetooth connection doesn't get interrupted, don't turn off the ignition, and don't remove the dongle unless you're finished now. And when you're done, gently swipe up to close the app, then carefully put your phone down and calmly turn off the ignition. Next, slowly remove the dongle, then put the little cap back on. There's a small cap at the bottom. Make sure to put it back on securely. Finally, return the dongle to where it belongs, namely into the Schaknat box. That way, you always have some gummy bears or an air freshener for yourself and the instructions in case you have any questions again. Alright, let's store that away properly now. Now we'll start the engine and check to make sure everything has been calculated correctly here. Always let it start up calmly, don't just start it right away. Engine's running, no errors, I'm quite satisfied.
Andre did the initial measurement. Really awesome result, a great improvement. In our Eco version, which is what we always set up for customers by default, truly a fantastic increase in torque. Let's take a quick look at it together now. You can see it here. The green curve is the optimized one, and the red curve is the original. You can see we've got a really big bulge here, a real increase in torque. Peak performance, as you can clearly see it up here, we're running it again. We have an effective power increase of almost just 20 horsepower, but you can also see almost 90 Newton meters more torque overall. So 80 to 90 Newton meters, that's really quite substantial, and that's exactly in the range where I typically operate. This is the maximum torque. So you can see down here, if we take another quick look, even from 1,400 or 1,300 RPM, it almost already has its maximum torque and keeps it going. Up to almost 2,900, and then it drops off down here. That's why you only get this relatively modest 20 horsepower peak output, but that's exactly how I personally like to optimize the vehicles. I have a nice amount of torque available at the bottom end, and at the top, at around 3,500 RPM, you really don't gain anything anyway, and pleased with the revs, because at that point you just get a loud engine noise and it doesn't move forward anymore no matter how much you try. So of course we want to try to keep the cars in the lower rev ranges so that it shifts up early. After all, a motorhome is a vehicle that's more focused on comfort, especially when I'm going on vacation. I want to travel in a relaxed way, so the vehicle shouldn't shift too much, it should run smoothly, it should run harmoniously. Because a lot of my customers say that the vacation already begins when you're driving the motorhome. Good. I'll also set up a power variant for the customer, since that's what he wants. He'll give it a try. I want to test both variants again in terms of fuel consumption. Maybe we'll report on that next time as well, once the customer has given us feedback. As far as the result goes, I'm extremely satisfied. So that's how we have it included as standard in the app. That's how people can flash it too. I hope through Andre you got a good insight into how the app works, because a lot of people always have concerns with the app, especially when it comes to flashing with their phone. I have a bit of respect and fear about that myself. But as you can see, it's quick, easy, and flexible. As I said, the IVECO is definitely a great solution. We've reached the end of our video again about the engine and transmission optimization of the Morelo Palace. I definitely enjoyed it a lot again. It was a lot of fun. As you can see, when you have such beautiful motorhomes, especially the interior design, I always find that really interesting. They really did a fantastic job, truly beautiful vehicles. I always think it's awesome, and what I also want to mention is our test bench and its measurement accuracy. You can see it yourself, the original is supposed to have 475 Newton meters. We're measuring almost the factory torque. You know it yourselves, it's a calculated value. There are always some tolerances involved. They say up to 3% tolerance is normal, but I can't really see that on our test bench. Honestly, it's just so much fun to measure. The customer will now also get the app from me, as you can see. He'll get the folding dog too, here with the adapter as well. And of course, our world famous Hugo Boss. Air freshener, for customers who want one, he'll get that too. I'll put it in here for him. If you're interested in this topic about engine and transmission optimization for Morelo Palace, feel free to check out our website at www.schaknat.de. You can feel free to call us, send us an email, or write to us on WhatsApp. So I'd like to say thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.